Hey guys, Gregory here, and welcome to part 2 of my top 11 favorite Disney animated films. If you haven't seen part 1, then I strongly suggest you to watch part 1 before you watch part 2. And much like I said in the last video, try to guess number 1. Maybe you'll see, maybe you kind of hinted it, but try to guess number 1. So with that being said, let's get started. Number 5. The Jungle Book. Honestly, I love The Jungle Book. I mean, back then, I never knew, as a little kid, I never knew that The Jungle Book was based on the book by Rudyard Kipling. And, well, it's kind of obvious, but back then you just watch anything you want. But back then I never knew it was based on a book, and I didn't know very much about it or whatnot. But I was introduced to The Jungle Book to the Disney movie. It was Walt Disney's last animated film before he passed away, and I just love the movie. The second movie is crap. Despite the animation looks really good, really incredible, but it's just crap. I also saw the movie in the theater, but regardless, and then we have a live-action Jungle Book that came out in the 90s, which didn't do very well, and now we have the brand new Jungle Book movie that came out just recently, just like a few months ago. I don't know how long it's been, but a few months ago. And I haven't seen the movie, but a lot of people have been saying that, oh, the movie's good. You gotta see this movie. It's really good. And it was funny because Doug Walker talk about the Jungle Book like the new Jungle Book movie. He say he hates it, and which I want to see this way. I'm very curious, but I like the original Jungle Book from Walt Disney. And when I was a kid, I loved this movie. I remember playing the game, and yes, I do have. Let me see. I do have the Super Nintendo game of the Jungle Book. I don't know if you can see from far away, but this is the original Jungle Book on the Super Nintendo, and I love the game, and I love the movie, and you know, as a kid, I just loved it. I love the songs. I love the characters. I just love every bit of this movie, even though it's very loosely based on the Rudyard Kipling story. But it just suspend your disbelief that, you know, it's Disney. And when I found out that the Jungle Book, like the original book of the Jungle Book, the original story, not only was darker, but also was a lot more interesting and more fascinating. And also it's very interesting to see how the animal world views the human world. And also you have Mowgli of this sort of coming of age story. And when I heard that the closest version of the Jungle Book that is faithful to the original source material was made by Chuck Jones, who also worked with Warner Bros. With the Looney Tunes. And I just love every bit of that movie. I love this. Like I said, the songs are memorable. Like, you all know the songs, Bare Necessities, and I Want to Be Like You, and Trust in Me, the Elephant Parade, and also my all-time favorite song, That's What Friends Are For, which is the Vultures song. And I love the Vultures. And interestingly enough, in the original book they were the villains, but in this one they were the good guys. And I like how you could tell that like the design of the Vultures were modeled after the Beatles, and what makes it very interesting, but at the same time so frustrating, is that that the Beatles were originally going to do the voices of the Vultures, and also the song That's What Friends Are For was supposed to be a rock song. But unfortunately, they didn't make into the audition or to the studio because due to time constraints in their schedule on tour, so they didn't make the cut. And it's a real shame because I would like to see the Beatles doing a Disney movie. I thought that should be very fascinating. But as it is, I loved it. And also, it's a very deep song. That's What Friends Are For. If you listen to the lyrics, it's very deep. And I just love the fight scene where Mowgli fights Shere Khan. It was very awesome and very funny at the same time. And I love the ending. The ending was pitch perfect because Mowgli had went to the man village and Baloo and Bagheera went back to the jungle, and that's it. It ended the story, and the sequel just messed it up. But even Doug Walker, because he did review the Jungle Book 2 on Disney Server, that he said that Jungle Book 2 would, like, there's no reason to have a Jungle Book 2 if the first movie ended on a perfect note, which honestly I do understand, because the first movie, like, it was wonderful. Like I said, Mowgli went to the man village with the girl, and Baloo and Bagheera went back to the jungle, and it finishes it. It's done. And yeah, and I felt that too. Even as a kid, like, I was like, I don't want to see this movie as a kid, but it really got me curious. I want to see how it is. But I guess as a kid, I was like, I like it. But watching it, I was like, no, it's not that really good. It has the cliche of the misunderstanding, and also we have the girl that doesn't listen. And even Doug Walker said that you're basically watching the first movie, but as a sequel. I mean, yes, I felt bad because Jungle Book 2, like, I'm sure there's a lot of talented people that put a lot of work and effort into the sequel, but I felt bad because, you know, it could have been better. It could have been a lot more interesting, but it's like one of those sequels that should never be made, should never existed, because, like I said, the movie ended on a perfect note. So that's what it is. But despite the sequel, I love the Jungle Book. It was Walt Disney's last animated film. So if you haven't seen the Disney animated version or film, whatever, buy on Blu-ray, buy on DVD, and enjoy it, embrace it. It's a good film. And who knows? Maybe this movie will grab your interest in reading the actual book. So, Jungle Book, I gave it a 5-star rating. Number 4. Wreck-It Ralph. Out of all the Disney films I have ever seen, the Wreck-It Ralph was one of those movies that I want to see the least. I love this movie. I love Wreck-It Ralph. But back then, like, before the movie came out, when I heard the title Wreck-It Ralph, I was like, oh God. And keep in mind, this was back in the day when Disney went to CG, and back then, I love the Disney hand-drawn animated film, not the 3D animated films. And I always get a little bit upset that why Disney's moving on to CG animation instead of doing hand-drawn animation. And I found out why, because Home and Arrange didn't do very well. People are moving on to 3D with Pixar. Well, Pixar has been doing it already. DreamWorks and Blue Sky. And I felt really bad because, you know, they should do more hand-drawn animated film. Like for example, Chicken Little, that was originally intended to be a hand-drawn animated film, but instead they went on to 3D, which looks nice in 3D, but it could have been done as a hand-drawn animated film. And it's funny because before Wreck-It Ralph, we have The Princess and the Frog. Wonderful movie. I love that movie to death. And it also is the first time we see hand-drawn animation in the big screen. It looks really good. And you can see that it was directed by the same directors of Aladdin, Little Mermaid, Great Mouse Detective, and Hercules, and Treasure Planet. And these guys are really talented. They really did a good job with the movie. And right after that, we have another film, which I'll get to that in a minute. That's on the next list. But Wreck-It Ralph, when I saw the title, even posted like, oh my God, I don't know about this movie. But when I saw trailers in the theater, I was like, this should be very fascinating. And because it has all the video game characters, we have this character named Wreck-It Ralph who's a villain, and it has good commentary, like all these villains in video games, and we found out that they're not really bad. They're just doing their job. It's their thing. They're supposed to be evil. They're supposed to be bad. They're supposed to be villains, and and also it has a very interesting question. Like I said, it has good commentary. Do you ever get upset? Like it's like interviewing. Okay, say like I'm interviewing Bowser, right? I was like, Bowser, I have a question. For over the years you've been the villain in Mario, in all the Mario games, do you ever want to become a good guy, like you want to save the day and whatnot. He's like, oh yeah, maybe I would, but like, yeah, it goes for Ralph. That's what got me into watching Wreck-It Ralph, and I watched it because Sarah Silverman. I love Sarah Silverman. She did a great job in that movie. I think the voice cast is just pitch perfect. And when I saw this movie, because this is a movie that who was his name? Rich Moore, who also directed some of the Simpsons episodes, directed this movie. And this is the movie he always wanted to do for a very long time, way back in the 80s, until now he finally achieved it. And when I saw the film, it exceeded my expectation, and I loved the movie. I love the characters. I love the design on the characters too, like Wreck-It Ralph, Fix-It Felix Jr., Vanellope, Calhoun. All these characters are so good and so, oh my god, they're wonderful. They're wonderfully designed. I just love that. And I like how Fix-It Felix Jr. is sort of like a parody of Donkey Kong. Like, say, like, Felix is Mario and Wreck-It Ralph is Donkey Kong. And I just love that. And also what I like about it is that Sonic was there, Pac-Man was there. Even while I was watching it, I was sort of disappointed that Mario didn't make it. And I guess like due to like, you know, even though they asked permission, but I guess it didn't make the cut. But yeah. But I just love the movie. I like the story too. I mean, I like how Wreck-It Ralph. He's a villain in the video game, but outside the video game, he's like a very nice guy. And I like how he just walks normal, like he just mind his own business. All the characters are afraid of him. Like, oh my god, bad guy! That was so funny. And also the villain is pretty good. King Candy, who's Turbo, I love him, and I like his voice. And also, it really caught me off guard because I was like, who is this guy? I mean, he seemed like the villain, but who is, like, we don't know who Turbo is, who is this guy, but we found out, like, oh my god, holy shit, it is, King Candy is Turbo, oh my god. And Turbo is sort of like Excitebike. It's not like the Excitebike games. And I love the voice of King Candy. I just love the voice. And also the scenes and the dialogue, I still remember them even to this day. I just love it a bit of it. And it was funny because when I watched this movie, the only thing that popped to my mind was video game music. Like I was like, they should put video game music from like Donkey Kong Country or Super Mario Brothers or Mega Man, or I would put them in the game. I just put them in the movie. I like to see that. I just love this movie to death, and it's funny because when I watch it, it's very similar to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and a lot of people say that it's like a modern 3D version of Roger Rabbit, and it is. It's not trying to trying to copy Roger Rabbit. It's trying to take elements from Roger Rabbit and make it something fresh and new, and they did a great job with that. And that's been a lot of people sort of misunderstood, like, oh, it's a Roger Rabbit ripoff. It's not a ripoff. It's about taking some old ideas and elements from old movies to create something fresh and new. That's why Star Wars is such a good movie, even back in the 70s, because they take old ideas to create something fresh and new and entertaining. That's why Star Wars is such a good movie. And Wreck-It Ralph is a good example of that. But I would say it's a real shame that the movie didn't earn an Academy Award, even an Oscar for Best Movie or Best Original Picture. It was nominated, but it lost over to Brave, which Brave doesn't have no originality whatsoever. You're seeing the same plot as you've seen in every Disney movie. That movie deserves a reward. And when I found out, what really got me excited that they're gonna do a Wreck-It Ralph 2, and I was really excited because they've been talking about Wreck-It Ralph 2 after the first movie, and I was really excited because even I heard that they're gonna have Mario's gonna be in Wreck-It Ralph 2. I was like, oh my god, I'm really excited. I want to see as a cameo. Maybe he's gonna be a cameo. I was about to say he's gonna have a bigger role in the movie, but I just love it. But I think what's so interesting is that a lot of people do sort of complain is that in the movie Wreck-It Ralph, you see a poster of all the video game characters, but you don't see their worlds. But I won't say that's not the focus. The focus is on Ralph and Vanellope and the relationship they have with each other. I just love it. And excuse me, I just love this movie to death. It's a wonderful movie. If you haven't seen this movie, buy on DVD or on Blu-ray or look it up online or just watch it. If you're into video games, you will love it. Or you're a casual gamer or whatever, just watch the movie. Just watch it and you'll have a good time. It's an awesome movie. I'm gonna wreck it. No wait, hold up. I can fix it. Number 3. Rapunzel. I'm not calling this movie Tangled. I'm just calling this movie by the original title and that which the film was supposed to be called. I just want to point that out. I'm calling this movie Rapunzel by the way it was originally named because the movie is all about Rapunzel. Why is it called Tangled? Oh yeah, her hair is tangled. I did okay. I'm going over part. I'm sorry. Just like I really hate it when they change a name from a classic story to this. Okay, but I just got that out of my chest. Okay, Tangled. I mean, you know, Rapunzel. I'm gonna call it Rapunzel, people. I'm gonna call this movie Rapunzel. Okay, honest to God, when I saw trailers of the movie and posters and pictures, I got really excited because I really want to see this movie because this was Disney's 50th movie. And I remember one time, I think in the theater or maybe in commercials, like they show like all the Disney animated films for over the years, from Snow White to Rapunzel, and I thought like it's really good. It's a very nice tribute to all of the Disney movies from Snow White to Rapunzel. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube, look it up, and you'll see how good it is. Honest to God, I love Rapunzel, and I love much like Wreck-It Ralph, I love the casting. I love the cast. It's very good, and the story was brilliant. The animation was brilliant, and what's interesting is that Rapunzel, it was originally intended to be a hand-drawn animated film. In fact, if you look at the characters like Rapunzel, Mother Gothel, Eugene, like character design-wise, it was originally intended to be a hand-drawn animated film. But since Princess and the Frog, while it did well, it didn't earn as much money as Disney hoped for. So they said like, let's not do hand-drawn, let's do 3D. So they do 3D. But it's a shame too because I wanted to see this movie as a hand-drawn animated film, but as is, it's wonderful. I just love the story, and even my mom likes it because she said it stayed closer to the original story of the Brothers Grimm, even though they have some creative liberties. But I love the story. I love the characters, and also Mandy Moore is perfect as Rapunzel. Even though it is really you're hearing Mandy Moore's voice, but sometimes it just convinces you that that's not Mandy Moore. I hear it's Rapunzel, and they all work beautifully. Even Donna Murphy, who does the voice of Mother Gothel, I love her voice. I like Mother Gothel. For me, she's like one of the best Disney villains ever put on film. I like how she can be very threatening and very all hidden hide in shadows, but also I like how she could be all happy and giddy and whatnot, and she's doing whatever it takes to make sure Rapunzel stays at the tower, so she can use her hair so she will be young forever. I love that, and I like how she tried to manipulate Rapunzel. A lot of people say, even I said this myself, when I saw this movie in theaters, I was like, oh, she's Frollo and Rapunzel's Quasimodo. It's the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but in 3D format. Oh my God! I'm sorry. I just love that. But they did it so well. They did it in a very different way because Mother Knows Best is very similar to Out There, where Frollo tells Quasimodo like the world is dark and cruel, and reminded that he's deformed and ugly. They'll throw pies at him and whatever. And then, but it's very different though because it's very happy and giddy because like Mother Knows Best. I just love that. But I like how in the movie towards the end of the song she said to Rapunzel like, "Don't ever ask to leave this tower again." And that was like, oh my God! That's a good example of a good performance. A good example. And I love the action. I love the comedy, and the songs are just wonderful. They're so memorable. and also the visual, like the scene where Eugene and Rapunzel are at the boat, and in front of the castle when they light up all the lanterns, it looks so beautiful. The music and how the characters are singing, the visuals, it looks beautiful. Like I can imagine people could do paintings out of it. And my God, and that scene where and also what I like about that scene where the king and queen, they never say one line of dialogue. It's all quiet, but you can identify what they're feeling. They feel sad because they can't find their daughter, which is Rapunzel, and they search everywhere and everywhere. Which I will not spoil the ending. You had to see it for those who haven't seen it. But you know what I'm talking about. It just punches you in the heart. Like, my God. Okay. But you can see I really love this movie a lot. I just love it. And I love. Okay, Maximus the horse. He's one of the best movie horses ever made by Disney. And for Disney to do that, that is really something. I like how passionate he is. I like how he's determined. He wanted to do whatever it takes to get Eugene in jail. Like, oh my God. But also like how they decided to become friends. I love his expression. I just love every bit of it. It's so awesome. So, like I say, you can see I really love this movie a lot. This movie is really amazing. Let me address something. The reason why I don't like the name Tangled instead of Tangled, because the story is not about her hair. The story is about Rapunzel. And I asked the question, like, even back then when the movie came out, even before and after the movie came out, I questioned this, like, why can't this movie be called Rapunzel instead of Tangled? Because the movie's called Tangled, but the story is about Rapunzel. So wouldn't it make more sense to just call it Rapunzel? Even when one Disney artist or maybe a Disney animator has said that the idea of Disney changing the name of a classic story from Rapunzel to Tangled is one of the most ridiculous and stupidest decisions that the company has ever made. Even he went further on saying that it's like changing the title for Little Mermaid to Beach. And I'll even admit he has a good point. Because you're telling the story of Rapunzel, but the title is called Tangled. And I guess they did it because one of the directors have said that they want to do it just make it bring more. They know that girls will see it, but they want like more boys to see it. That's why we have Eugene on. They want to do like what Pixar did with Toy Story with Buzz and Woody, and they did it well. But little boys are gonna see Rapunzel anyway. I mean, I'm a guy that when I was a little kid, I watched Snow White, I watched Beauty and the Beast, I watched Cinderella, Little Mermaid. I love Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid is wonderful. It has great animation. Even by today's standard, it looks pretty amazing. But maybe that's just maybe me. But boys are gonna see it anyways. They're gonna see it anyways. But that's my little pet peeve on the title of Rapunzel. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. I call this movie Rapunzel because this is what the title should be made. Should be named. Even in Europe, like in Germany, they call this movie Rapunzel. Even they know that this is the story about the Brothers Grimm, and they give respect to it because Walt Disney never changed the title of the original story. He respected it. That's one thing. But Walt is dead, and Disney do whatever they want. But despite the title change, which really still cringes me. I love Rapunzel. I love the movie. I love it back then. I love it now. And every time I watch it, it gets better and better and better. Every time I see it. So Rapunzel, I give this movie 100%, an A+. Just a wonderful movie. Number 2. Fantasia. Okay, y'all know this is coming, but I love Fantasia. I just love the movie. It's such a wonderful movie. And what's so funny is that when I was a kid, I only saw this Fantasia 2000. And I remember when I saw the movie for the first time on VHS, they showed scenes from the first Fantasia. My brother was like, "Oh, that's from the first movie." I was like, "Wait, that was the first movie? That was the first Fantasia?" So I'm watching a sequel, and so my cousin got the VHS tape of it. I haven't seen the whole movie until years later, And so what I did was, by the time, because when the movie came out the movie came out in IMAX in '99, and then came out in theaters in 2000. It was to like mark the 60th anniversary of Fantasia, and my mother bought the Fantasia anthology. We had the first Fantasia, the Fantasia 2000, and Fantasia Legacy, which shows behind the scenes and bonus features from the first and second Fantasia, and I really want to see it. And when I saw the first Fantasia, I fell in love with the movie. I watched this movie even as a kid. I was like maybe like 8 or 9 years old. Oh, even growing up, I watched this movie a lot and a lot and a lot. And it's funny because when I was a kid, I watched two movies, Fantasia and Fantasia 2000, and I watched the first Fantasia more than the second one because the first one is beautiful. I mean, it's funny because it's a very interesting movie because it's interesting that Walt Disney wanted to say is completely different because Fantasia doesn't have a story. It doesn't have a dialogue aside from the host. It was an experimental film that Walt Disney created to combine classical music with the art of animation. Not one story, but several stories. And what makes it more interesting is that Fantasia was supposed to be just one animated short because Mickey Mouse back then in the 30s was very popular, but at the time he was slipping away popularity due to competition with Warner Bros. With the Looney Tunes. So Disney decided he wants to make a Mickey Mouse cartoon to make him as a magician, a magician. That's where Sorcerer Apprentice came in, and he wants to redesign Mickey Mouse, and that's how we got the Mickey Mouse we know today. And actually, that's how Fantasia came about because Walt Disney wanted to do a cartoon, a Mickey Mouse cartoon as Mickey as the apprentice, and as the expense gets higher and higher, Leopold Stokowski, one of the biggest conductors at the time, suggested to Disney like, hey, why don't we do more of these segments with classical music and turn into a film? And as a result, Fantasia was born. And another interesting thing is that the name Fantasia wasn't the first name that Walt Disney came up with. The name originally was supposed to be called the Concert Feature, but they all changed the name to Fantasia. So it works. And Fantasia, we all know, is a Spanish and Italian word for fantasia, which means fantasy. And there's two types. Fantasia means for music. Fantasia means like unicorns and whatever, things like that. But I just love this movie. I love the segments. I love the animation, the music. The music that they chose fits so well with the segments and the animated segments. Like the Nile Mountain fits so well, Ave Maria fits so well, and Dance of the Hours, all of it is so wonderful. And also, Walt Disney described Fantasia as an emotional experience, and that's what it did. It's an emotional experience because when you listen to music, the classical music, and watch the cartoons at the same time, it gives you an emotional response. Like you feel like, oh my god, happy, or what, or it just gives you an emotional experience. That your responses. And what's interesting is that when Walt Disney, he wanted to do more of Fantasia and decided he wanted to make Fantasia to be a continuing process. But when the film came out in 1940, it didn't do very well when it first came out. I mean, yeah, it earned money. It became the highest grossing film of that year. But it didn't really matter. The film cost a fortune. It makes no sense not to make another one. And also because of, in Europe, they're in World War II. They're in war. So I guess they didn't decide to make the second Fantasia. Even though there were plans and preparations and art design and storyboards what the same is going to be about. But Walt Disney decided to cancel it because what's the point of making it if the movie didn't do so well? And Fantasia 2000, let me point out, is not bad. I mean, I liked it, but with all honesty and with many respects, it's not what Walt Disney had envisioned. This is what he always wanted. Because how can you make a second Fantasia without Walt Disney? I understand they want to make the movie what Walt Disney wanted, but if I was them, they should take a look at the original concept of the second Fantasia and see what it's going to be about, what it's going to look like, and maybe, who knows, it could be like the second best movie. It could have been better than the first movie, but as is not bad. But Fantasia is a wonderful movie. It has music and visuals and animation art. And it's actually going to an art museum when you think about it. So I like it. It's a wonderful movie. I love it so much, and it gets better every time I watch it. So Fantasia is simply a classic, no matter how you look at it. And my number one favorite Disney animated movie is The Lion King. Okay. You all, for those who knows me, you know this has to be in the list. And I freaking love this movie. I love it. I love the story. I love the characters. I love the animation. I love every bit of this movie. Even as a kid on VHS, or even the game on Super Nintendo, which I got right here, which I will show you guys in a minute. I just love this game. Not game. I'm getting confused. Oh my god! I just love this movie to death. I love it. I love the songs. I love the characters. My favorite characters are your favorite characters. So my favorite character is Simba. As a little kid, because when I was a kid, I want to be like Simba because he's so cool. You know, he's like he's a little kid. And I find it very interesting is that The Lion King was based on William Shakespeare's play of Hamlet, which is very similar, but it treats itself very, very different. And I just love every bit of this movie. I love I just love every bit of this movie. And it's practically one of the darker films. I mean, it's not too dark, but like it is dark, but not like Hunchback of Notre Dame dark, but it's dark, but in some areas. And I love the relationship between Simba and his father, and I just love the relationship. And you can see that Simba loves his dad, and his dad loves Simba. They really love each other, like a father and son should. And I like how Mufasa, even Simba's a little kid, he's a prince, but he's teaching him the ways to become king. Showing like the kingdom with the pride lands and here and there, and how to be king. And I just love that. And Jeremy Irons as Scar is a great villain. Even though I do see why people say he's not that great, because at first he was interesting, but when he becomes king, he was like, I'm a king, I don't care, whatever. But that makes him a lot more interesting. Even there were Lion King novels. They show like a little bit of a history and backstory about Scar and how he has that scar in his eye that gives him that name. And look it up. You want to see it? Look it up. You'll see how it is. Which I'm not spoiling because you gotta see it. But I just love this movie. I love the song. I know a lot of people really don't like the song, but I love the song. Circle Life was good. I Can't Wait to Be King was wonderful. Be Prepared was awesome. Hakuna Matata was wonderful. Can't Feel the Love Tonight it's just good. And also I like about it is that I love the message that it tries to get across. Like it's trying to tell, like it's trying to show, like you gotta put the past behind you. Even though you did a lot of things in the past, but you just gotta learn to let them go and keep moving on with your life. It's a very adult message when you think about it. And what I like about it is that even when he talks to Rafiki about it, it's based on every detail about like, yes, the past will hurt you and it will follow you for the rest of your life, but you either have two options. Either you run away from your past or you go back and learn from it. And that is very smart. I just love that message. Even though I will admit, even though Doug Walker talked about this movie in Disney December, which he does, I'll admit he has a point that he's not confronting his flaws and his mistakes. He just gotta tell everyone that, oh, I didn't do it and whatnot. And yeah, it is pretty flawed, but you just can't overlook it because of the characters are so strong and the story is so strong and everything about it. It just suspends your disbelief. You just overlooked it. But that's what I like about this movie, because you just overlooking it, because it's such a good movie, because the music, the animation, the characters are so strong, the writing was really good, and I just love every bit of this movie. I just love it. And I'll say this: I think everyone have cried over this. As a little kid, I did get all teary-eyed when I see Simba's dad die, especially when Simba sees his father and trying to tell him to wake up, and when he starts to cry, oh my god, you just cry with him, and that music, and oh my god, it will it sticks to me even to this day. It still makes me cry even to this day. I know a lot of people say that Bambi's mom is the saddest moments, which, yeah, I will agree, but this one takes the cake. And also you see the body. You see the freaking body. That was really intense for kids back then. Which is understandable because back in the day when they made Bambi, they can't show the body, but we can tell that Bambi's mom died. And when the father's like, your mother can't be with you anymore. And they're like, no! Why? Why should I die? But, yeah, but you see, you get the point. It's just that I just love this movie to death, and I just love the cast. And like Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Matthew Broderick as Simba was wonderful. James Earl Jones, who did Star Wars, the voice of Darth Vader, did good. And let me see, Jeremy Irons, like I said, perfect as Scar. And Rowan Atkinson, who did Mr. Bean as Zazu, did pretty good. Whoopi Goldberg as one of the hyenas did good. And I just love every bit of this movie. I just love it. I got no words to say about it. It's a wonderful movie. The one thing I felt very proud is that I saw this movie with a friend in theaters when Lion King was being re-released. And this was my first time watching the movie in theater, and it looks beautiful. Beautiful. Just the way, it really transports you back to the 90s when this movie came out back in 1994. And I was born back in the day. And I just love every bit of this movie. This movie is incredible. It's great. Great animation, great story, great message. It's just great. So that's what I say about it. Lion King is a wonderful movie. So if you haven't seen it, buy it on DVD, buy it on Blu-ray, and give it a watch. So that's it, people. That concludes my top 11 favorite Disney movies. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I guess that's it. So if you like this video, press the like button. If you want to see more new videos, please subscribe, because I would like to see support and show a little love and all. So that's what I can say. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Right? Take care.